Anyone who's been in low tier trading for a while will know that it's gotten really hard to do. And there are a couple of reasons for that, some of which I'm going to be talking about in this video. And I actually find it quite interesting when you sit down and think about why people are struggling with it. I really quickly want to say a massive thank you to all of you so much for 71,000 subscribers. I didn't even notice we passed it, so yeah, that was quite cool. But that just means we are close to our goal of 75 and 100,000 subscribers, so keep subbing if you're not already subbed. Over 60% of you guys watching right now aren't actually subbed, so I know for a fact there's more people that can be subscribing. So that's what that stat meant, yeah. I know it's annoying to hear this at the start of every video, but it's just the game YouTubers have to play this year apparently, because it helps quite a bit. Maybe when we hit 100k subs, I'll shut up about it. So the first point I wanted to make in this video is that the ref prices have fallen dramatically since I was low tier trading. So many people keep telling me that it's the key prices rising, which just isn't the case. The keys have stayed the same value in real world money pretty much since they got released into the game. So there's no way that the key prices are rising in-game with in-game currency and not in the real world. But it is the fact that so much refined metal is being crafted and still exists. It brings the price of refined metal down, which means you need more of them to get a key. So instead of a key being 2.33 or even 10 ref or something like that, it's 54 refined metal because that much ref exists in this game, sitting in people's backpacks and not being used for anything. Back when keys are cheaper, that was because less people had loads and loads of refined in their inventory, and people would actually use that refined to try and craft hats when new ones came out. I remember, I think people were trying to get craft 100 grey bands or something like that, or like really low craft grey bands, and that was a metal sink, so people would basically delete their metal to try and get something else that didn't actually cost real metal in the game, but people would trade their metal for that thing. So a lot of metal kept being crafted, but then it also got deleted in space of like hats that people were crafting and other stuff that people were trying to craft. Nowadays, stuff like that doesn't exist because the whole tiered system in crates, so it doesn't make sense if you can craft them. And there's no new weapons that people could craft. There's no new hats that people can craft. And, you know, people aren't crafting hats as much because it's not worth it. People aren't crafting weapons anymore because, you know, that's never been worth it. But yeah, there's nothing to spend metal on. So people are just going to be collecting metal. If Valve wanted to reduce the ref price, they would have to make a really good metal sink that everybody wants to spend their metal on. So if you could craft Tour of Duty tickets or something like that, that would mean that everybody would be crafting Tour of Duty tickets, playing MVM and stuff like that. So they'd be deleting a whole lot of refined metal, but they'd be getting something in return that is actually sort of worth the refine they're spending. But the way this affects lower tier traders is that if you're starting from 1 scrap, you have to times the value you're starting with by 9 to get a refined metal. Then you have to do that 53 more times to get 1 key. Then to get into decent unusuals, you're going to have to times that key, which you could have spent ages getting already because of how much ref you had to trade for, another 9 times at least to get up to 10 keys and start unusual trading with a decent amount, which is such a long process. And it makes it really difficult because ref is so worthless in the grand scheme of things. Another reason low tier trading is super difficult nowadays is that the bots have kind of taken over everything. Like, why would somebody want to buy an item off you if you aren't online 24/7 and the bots were selling it for the same price and you don't accept trade offers straight away because you don't always see them straight away? Unless they are dedicated to like only trading with human people, most people would just pick the bot that is instant and similarly priced to what you're selling. It is physically impossible to compete with a computer that has been designed to do exactly what you do, but better than you, for longer than you, and with no need to take breaks because they aren't a human. It's an unfair advantage they have, and it makes trading anything pretty difficult. And they're quite like prevalent in unusual trading as well. I myself am quite guilty of trading with bots over people as well. They're easier to deal with, but it sucks that it kind of takes the profit and the progress of those legitimate people away from them because you just want a fast trade. But people pay for convenience and the bots were there to fill that need, which again goes back to making everything take so much longer than it needs to do. Robots are just sometimes easier to deal with than humans, and I don't think there's any way a human can get around that. Unless they make bots themselves, but I don't know how to do that. I think because low tier trading does become so time consuming, especially for new traders who don't really know what's going on, people either quit trading completely and just play the game, or maybe even quit the game completely because of it, or they just spend real world money to get 10 keys and completely skip past this step, which I guess leaves less people trying to make low tier trading work. So then it is just all bots, which is kind of a shame and doesn't help. But if if you want to actually get into unusual trading and you want to try and actually make money, then buying 10 keys is so much easier than spending months trying to get 10 keys from trading. It's like, yeah, you might have made all of this money from absolutely nothing, but you've spent months trying to make like 20 quid or something like that. It's just not worth it. Work for a couple of hours. I've made a whole video before about how many hours you would have to work at a regular minimum wage job to actually earn a dream unusual, and it's really not that much. If you want to spend a month doing it, like a couple of hours a day or even a couple of hours a week would get you so much more than trading would, and it's insane to think that. Anyway, that is going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you leave a like down below and also subscribe to the channel if you're new. I upload every single day. I also try and live stream every single day. So if you want to see more content and you have nothing else to do during this lockdown, then you know what? Subscribe to the channel. I'll hopefully, upload something every day that you enjoy. I don't know. So yeah, anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for 71,000 subscribers as well. And I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.